Hello and welcome to the Signpost Up Ahead, a Twilight Zone Recap Podcast. It's a Twilight Zone Recap Podcast. My name's Matt Stokes. I'm here with
Patrick, bro.
Hey, man. And we're joined on the line by a special guest, Austin Proctor from Frightmares podcast. What's up, Austin?
Not too much. Happy to be here. Kind of new to the Twilight Zone, but we'll get into that. So thanks for having me on.
Well, let's get into that. Yeah, so what is your history with this show? As a horror expert, one of the world's most renowned experts in horror.
Oh, can I get a plaque, please, of that? So funny enough, I've known about the Twilight Zone. I went to Disney as a kid. They have the ride there. I've known about it for decades at this point. Didn't get into it until probably last year or the year before, and watched I don't know how many episodes. And then when you mentioned you had a Twilight Zone episode or a podcast, I was like, okay, now I got to get back into it. So when I went to go watch the episode for tonight, Paramount so kindly reminded me that I had finished all of season 1 and I was on season 2. So it's like, oh, cool, I've seen more than I thought. So I've only seen the first season, and I know there's 5, but there's like 250 something episodes. There's so many episodes.
Like 30 something or 40 episodes a season.
Right.
We used to make TV in this country, man. A season of a show, you'd get 35 fucking episodes. And now you get 8 episodes every 3 years and you'd be happy.
You'll be lucky. Look at Stranger Things. But yeah, so I mean, I'm pretty new to Twilight Zone, but I love it. Especially this episode we're talking about today. I really, really enjoyed this one. I think my favorite of season 1, though, was probably perhaps to Dream, I think.
Perchance to Dream.
Oh, that one's so good. But I really, really enjoyed this one. Very excited to talk about it. Took way too many notes, but that's never a bad thing. So.
Well, you know what? Your introduction made me think of a really good question. So you said you're like a horror expert.
Yes.
What would you consider Twilight Zone? Do you think Twilight Zone is horror? Or is it sci-fi? Or is it just like, I don't know, whatever makes you think?
I think it's kind of a mishmash. I mean, some episodes definitely tap into very horror, like the horror genre, but then other episodes are more sci-fi, more mystery thriller. I think it's kind of just a blend of all of it. I really think it depends on what episode you watch. Like, for example, this this episode, I wouldn't say it's necessarily horror, but it's definitely horror adjacent because of what happens. But you never know what you're going to get. And I think that's what my favorite part about the Twilight Zone is I'll read the little blurb for each episode. And I'm like, cool. Don't have any idea where we're going or if we're going to have some crazy twists, but it's a great blending of many genres, I think. I would say horror definitely takes a backseat most of the time. I'd probably consider it a science fiction mystery the most, I would say.
I like to call it dark. Like even when it's not like a horror, it's dark. You know,
it's dark. It makes you think. It makes you question a lot of things. It's a fantastic show.
I agree. I think that back then there was a genre that we might as well call dark, which Patrick just said, because it was sort of, it was even in like Marvel Comics. You wouldn't call it horror. It would just be like, wow, so spooky to ponder. A man transforms into an Incredible Hulk. So scary, but it's not actually horror. It's a little sci-fi, just kind of spooky and eerie to think about.
There was an episode not long ago where a guy was granted by the devil immortality. And it was more or less like a comedy, like the way he went about his immortality and shit. But at the same time, like the overlying tone was dark. The things he did with his immortality, they were kind of funny, but his wife accidentally died. He didn't give a shit, it was just dark.
That was the most straightforwardly comedic one that is about a very dark subject. Where his wife falls off a building and he's like, my wife.
He was
dead.
jealous that it wasn't him who fell off.
I don't think I had ever seen this episode before preparing for this podcast. What are your memories of it, Patrick?
Dude, I don't think I ever saw it either. Like usually, I've always said in the past that, I'd like to think I've seen every episode, many more than once, but this one didn't ring a bell and nothing was like, oh yeah, I remember that. Like I was actually really surprised the whole time. Yeah, but, so yeah, I don't remember it. I guess I'd never seen it. I by the plot, I thought I did, and there might be an episode that's like just like us in the future, that's done differently because you can do this so many different ways. The guy knows what you need.
It reminded me of Needful Things. Obviously, that would come later from Stephen King, but it very much reminded me of the store Needful Things. And
I kept thinking of Needful Things too.
Yeah.
Of the evil version of that. And I know Stephen King definitely watched The Twilight Zone, but this episode, What You Need, aired December 25th, 1959. It is the last episode of The Twilight Zone that airs in the 50s. So we will finally enter the 1960s. I think of The Twilight Zone as the 1960s TV show, and we still have not gotten to the 60s, but we're finally getting there. Directed by Alvin Ganzer. This is just a TV veteran director. Sometimes you get guys, veteran Hollywood movie directors from like the 30s and 40s. They'll bring him out of retirement for The Twilight Zone. But this guy's kind of early in his career and will go on to work in every single TV show over the next 30 years. It was based on a short story by Louis Padgett and adapted for the screen by Rod Serling.
Gotta love Rod Serling.
And
dude, I even wrote in my notes, said, wouldn't you love it if Rod Serling did your eulogy?
Yes.
Here lies Patrick Perot, a very small man, but dreamed of big things.
no, there you go. That's perfect. And we'll go ahead and we'll just put it on your tombstone. It's fine. You mentioned maybe this plot comes up in future episodes. We're only 12 episodes in. I feel like we've already seen this exact plot in a couple of different ways. Now, this is the second episode we've watched that has a peddler in it because we had the second episode of the show.
But he hasn't won anything. Oh, the other one didn't really want anything either. Oh, I thought you were talking about the Western one where the guy was selling him the...
That one has a peddler too.
Yeah,
My God,
he's giving him the magic elixir, whatever it was.
But none of them wanted anything though. It's a weird thing.
But then it's got the Twilight Zone's other. We like to track these themes that the Twilight Zone likes to play with. I feel like its number one message is don't want anything. If you want something in life, you're bad. Don't do that. And this is maybe the ultimate example of don't you ever want anything.
I don't know. I was really confused by what this episode's message was. I was really disappointed actually, because there's so many cool things you can do with this. You know, you don't know what you need, but I know what you need. But it ended up being what he needed. Oh God! Oh, we'll get into it. We'll
get into it. I think I do kind of like the idea of like I have the powers of a god, but my aims are very, very modest.
I'm cool with that. I'm way cool with that. I was super excited. I thought there would be something delicious. You know?
Yeah. So, we open at this bar named Smitty's, and we're spending a lot of time with a guy named Lefty, who is very downtrodden. And then there's an even more morose man at the bar who's not talking to anybody, and Rod Serling tells us about him. This is the main character of the episode. His name is Fred Renard, played by Steve Cochran. And I think this is also, Patrick, the first episode we've covered where the main character is the bad guy. Well, no, I guess that episode where the guy's wants to be immortal, that's also a bad guy. Never mind. Forget that. But Rod Serling's telling us about him. He can never be satisfied. This man who is 36 years old. He's the age of he's our age. We all look as old as this.
I'm literally 36, and when he said he was 36, I was like, oh God.
They do that all the time in Twilight Zone. There was this really one time, and not was it Perchance to Dream? Is that the one where he goes back in time to?
Yeah, that was Perchance to Dream, the one where the guy can't go to sleep.
Yeah,
and he's 35 years old. Yeah. But on the James Bond podcast there's a man who's in Goldfinger who is 39 years old. Look him up. There's this guy, he like runs the British bank, and he gives James Bond his mission, and he's the oldest guy you've ever seen. And he was only 39 years old. People didn't know to drink water back then. It's not a big deal. Now we know, and we look very youthful. But this is going to be our main guy. And then we get a peddler who comes through the bar. The peddler is the other main character of the episode. I keep calling him the peddler because he doesn't say his actual name.
Is he even a peddler though? Does he ever ask for money? I think he just. Oh yeah, I guess so. I mean, he's got his whole thing and he offers people things, but does he ever get money?
He does say he. I think it's just off screen. I don't know, because he says he doesn't want to sell stuff anymore to Renard at the end of the episode, which I guess suggests that he has been accepting money, but we never see any money change.
We see a dollar bill from the lady that he declines, and because she wants the matches, and he's like, no, I know what you need. You need this this cleaning potion, and he gives it to her and doesn't take the $1, but I didn't see any other money besides that.
The lady that hits on the ball player?
Yeah.
Oh, I must have missed that then. Okay, because I was going to say that it's... We'll get to that point, but I thought it was really weird that he told the ball player he needed this to make him a ball player, and then he gave the woman something that was kind of going to derail the ball player.
Right. I thought that was interesting too, because what she needed was cleaning supplies for the guy at the bar with the coat. So was that like did they go and make babies after that? We don't know.
Well, that's what I was saying. I thought that was going to be the crux of the episode. Does he need his ball career, or does she need a man? Right. And that was going to be the conflict of the episode. And then just, fuck these people. Let's go another way completely.
Derailed.
Yeah, because this man Lefty comes in this bar every night and drinks and whines about the fact that he used to play in the major leagues as a pitcher and he fucking blew out his arm. And then the bartender mocks him for it. He's like, you come in here every night drinking yourself to death. It's like, this guy's keeping you in business.
Yeah, because he was just shaming the other guy, Fred, for not drinking enough, because he's like, hey, man, we don't rent space here. This is a bar. Get a
that
drink.
was him, right? He was the one he was shaming, right?
He was shaming Fred for not drinking, but then also shaming the baseball player
I
for
thought
drinking
he was shaming the baseball player for not drinking.
No, for drinking too much.
No, shaming him for drinking too much.
Yeah, for drinking.
Yeah, he says to Renard, to Fred Renard,
we sell booze here, mister. We don't rent space. Yeah.
Yes. And then Lefty, he just complains that this guy's in the bar every night.
Yeah, drinking. So he's like, he's complaining about two separate things. It's like, okay, well, do you want to sell this guy booze and make money? Or are you complaining about people who aren't drinking? Pick a lane, guy.
No, but this is one of those bars where you go in, you want to get yelled at and treated like shit by the bartender. You want to get dumped. And these places do exist. I've been to the restaurants where the gimmick is the waiters say that you're shitty and fat.
I've been looking for one of those. Thank you. Okay.
It's a blast.
Dick's Last Resort. You can find them all over the country. They will put you in a hat and write something terrible on it.
I need to go to that. I've never been to this. I've never been to the chain.
Yeah, I went to there. I went in Vegas when I was there back in 2016. It was a lot of fun. And then you end up tipping these people who are just roasting you the entire time. It's very strange.
So the peddler's going through the bar and he's telling people like, hey, I've got my wares. I've got shoelaces and like dental floss. And I know I made this joke in the last episode that has a peddler, but it's just all I think about is Larry Burns in The Simpsons. If this stuff is too nice for you, I've also got some crap. Because it's just shoelaces. But this woman, he has to give her like a cleaning tonic. And the thing that the baseball player Lefty needs is a bus ticket to Scranton. And then the baseball player Lefty gets a phone call for you, Lefty. And he goes and takes the phone call and he comes out and he's like, isn't that the darndest thing? I just got a job coaching in the minor leagues in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Wow.
Wouldn't that have been a really interesting plot if like the thing he needed was to get his baseball career back and the thing she needed was him, love with him. And that was what the episode was about, because like, for some reason, and they didn't have to do this because it wasn't even about them in the end, but for some reason, the next thing, he gets somebody that they need is something that the woman comes up to the baseball player for, and it's like, oh, you need that. I need to clean your something. I don't know what
what happens is he gets the phone call and he's like, oh my God. And I just got the bus ticket to Scranton. Now people, all this means is that this is going to save him like 30 seconds at the bus station. You didn't need the bus ticket. That phone call was coming regardless, right? Or
you mean he didn't cost him to get the job offer?
I guess that's the implication, which is we'll try to figure out what powers does this peddler actually have? Is he influencing the cosmic forces of the universe and changing things, or is he just like observing things and things are going to happen regardless?
But then the next thing that happens is a woman coming up to him trying to stop him.
No. So he's like, so I got this interview. Ooh, I really want to impress the general manager in Scranton, but I've got this darned stain on my shirt. And then the woman comes up and it's like, say, mister, I have this magical cleaning tonic. Why don't I clean your shirt for you? So what she needed.
The peddler gave her. That's what she needed.
But what she needed was to clean his shirt.
And fuck him that night.
Yes.
just to every woman wants to clean. That's what women want to do. That's I'm not saying this. The Twilight Zone is saying this. I don't believe that the Twilight Zone believes that.
But no, what Twilight Zone is saying that is she needed him. He needed a career in baseball. She needed him. That's what I thought the episode was going to be about. The conflict.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not. They're done.
No,
That storyline is resolved. And we're just like, ooh, interesting. This peddler, he's giving people stuff that they need. And then Renard, our main character, sees all this happen. So he corners the peddler out in the street. And he's like, you give me something that I need, huh? Yeah, okay. The peddler's a little scared.
He leaves the bar because he was... There's a moment where it's like the camera is, he's in the left side of the camera, Fred is in the right side in the back, and the peddler can sense him almost, and he gets wide eyes, and he leaves before Fred can get to him. But then Fred chases him down and is like, yeah, I need something from you, mister. Yeah, what do you got for me? Scissors, ah. And then he's mad when he gets scissors that end up, saving his life.
What's the big idea? There are a lot of big ideas, but he just saw the guy give some meaningless crap to some other people. Right. It worked out, but he's just forever resistant to this.
Can we do me a favor? Can we try to finish the episode as if it was about the baseball player and the girl?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's talk about the non-existent episode.
The episode that...
Because they set it up so well for that to be the episode.
They got to save that for another time. Why waste all your story ideas?
Because that's what he really needs, and that's what she really needs, and they conflict. Oh God, that was going to be a good episode.
No, I think that whole thing is like the Twilight Zone's whole message of don't ask for things, don't want anything, just want very, very minor things like a bus ticket.
Why did they conflict so much? Immediately, it was, hey, what you need is this career coaching baseball. That's what you need. That's what you want. Here's what I'm going to give to you. And then what she needed was a man, I guess. I don't know.
I don't think so. I think it's just saying she's going to want to help him. She doesn't want anything in return. She doesn't actually want to date this man. She just wants to help him with his shirt.
You don't think they had a thing going on? What do you think, Austin?
That's where I'm confused, because it's like, why is the thing that she needed for someone else? Because everything else that someone got was for themselves. It wasn't until the ending, which
So helping him that's
what I picked up on. I was like, I feel like this is a meet cute. This is how we're doing it.
Yeah.
Because everything else that he gives away, I mean, obviously Frank gets Frank Renard. Yeah, he gets the most from him, but it's all for him and not for anybody else until you get to that ending. So yeah, I'm taking that as kind of the catalyst to set things up, and then that's why we divert to Frank, who is the main guy, because he's described as this sour, just low-life person who has done nothing for 36 years, and that's what attracts him to the peddler, because he's like, I want to turn my life around, and you're going to be my partner whether you like it or not, buddy. So...
For sure. And I would have totally accepted that if the first two things, connected with each other, if they were in syncopation, but they were conflicting. I thought it was going to be do I take baseball or do I take love kind of thing, if he had done something for people and that was all resolved right there, then fine. Yeah, great. And so this guy wants his own thing. He wants something that helps him. Okay. I would totally accept that. But the way they set up him to either go play baseball or date this woman, conflicting, I don't know why they would do that. Why wouldn't they just give him his baseball career and she finds a lottery ticket that wins on the floor?
He doesn't just give you material gains. The baseball player got material improvement in his material conditions. He has a job now, but he also gives you things to soothe your soul. You need human connection and community and all that. And maybe that's what was lacking with this woman.
He's going to Buster Scranton the next day.
No, but this woman, she needed to find how beautiful the art of charity, the act of charity is. That's what she needed. It is strange, and it has derailed the entire episode because
you're trying way too hard to defend this episode.
I don't really like this episode. It's fine.
No, that's it's just say it's fucked up how they made the two things those two people needed to conflict with each other.
It's fucked up how the conflict with yeah, whatever you just said. I agree. No, I think it's weird. I think it's weird to give the woman the thing that she needs is to help somebody clean his shirt. But it's also, again, these things are so modest.
Well, even if that was true, that would just be super misogynistic. What this woman needs is to help a man clean his shirt.
Right.
Of course. Fred Renard, he gets a pair of scissors. He's like, what is this? Some kind of gag? But then he goes off on his own, goes into his apartment building, gets his sweater stuck in the elevator door as it closes. And then what do you know? The scissors are what saves his life. So he's like, that peddler, he's got some real magic, I tell ya. And so he goes and waits in the guy's apartment like a psychopath. And the guy comes in and he just barks at him like, what you gonna give me? What kind of magic are you gonna give to me? And the peddler's like, no, stop bothering me. I already gave you what you need. And this guy starts causing a ruckus. He kicks all of his stuff. He's like, no. Give me, you can see the future. You're gonna help me. You are. And I do like, our main guy, Fred, accepts this guy can see the future and he's wasting his incredible talent on nickels and dimes. Now, I do always like any story where somebody has incredible power and they put it to very, very poor use, to very modest
Wait,
use.
why do you like that?
I just find it amusing. I don't, because I also feel like I would put extraordinary power.
It's not super irritating.
Is it irritating? Life is
it's
irritating.
humorous from a third party perspective to me. I do find it funny. Like, you have this power and we're doing this with it. Like, all right, well, your life, I guess. I'd be doing something more meaningful.
It's like in Christopher Nolan's The Prestige, Nikola Tesla invents a matter duplication machine, and the thing he uses it for is to help a magician do a better magic trick. And that's funny.
That is kind of funny.
I guess.
Patrick hates
Patrick's
not impressed.
He hates it.
It's okay.
I love money. That's what I was saying. I love money. Money is the best.
Well, you're a real Fred Renard, because he's like, no, you've got a partner now. This is a hostile takeover. I'm taking over your operation.
Well, I'm not gonna fucking
gimme.
kill an old man to get money. Fuck, I love money, but I have my limits.
The guy gives him a pen, a very leaky fountain pen. And he's like, a leaky pen? What's the big idea with this leaky pen? But it spills onto a newspaper onto the name of a horse. Say. And the next thing we know, it's the next day and he's won 240 big ones and he's rolling around in his money on his hotel bed.
Literally rolling around in his money.
I did the inflation calculation because I'm a fucking nerd.
Thank you.
$2,700 today, which would basically buy you nothing in today's economy, but still that is
I'd still roll around.
Yeah, I still roll around at $2,700. All in singles, please. Thank you. So yeah, pretty big difference there.
Yeah, the one time Lacey and I won money at the casino, we did do this because it was at the end of the night. That's the only reason we won. It's because we were ready to go to sleep, and we're like, hey, we're gonna leave this evening with money. So we made love on top of the money. Sorry, everybody, but it's
hot and
we saw it in a movie and we had to recreate it. We had to have sex on top of $400.
That's how babies are made. I'm pretty sure. So.
But anyway, did that pin land on that on purpose? Like what's the deal with that? That's what I want to get at. Like, cause fuck this guy, you know, he's a super asshole, but it worked out for him. So was that just a coincidence, or does he have maybe he chooses to do what he wants to with his powers? Like, he has a pin who will land on the winner, but he only chooses to do it. And he accidentally did it in this case. And so the guy took it and ran with it and got the money.
And now he wants more. Now he's on the hook.
Yeah, because so I think that what is happening is the peddler knows he needs to set in motion the events that are going to lead to this guy dying.
Oh, I don't think so.
There's no deterring him.
I feel like that's the last thing he would do. Like, the peddler is not, we call him a peddler, but he's a really nice guy. He wants to do good, apparently, in this world. Like, I don't think he wants to set in motion things that are going to kill somebody. I think it was just something he had to do at the end. That's why I think the pin thing was just like lucky. It was random. Like, he wasn't trying to give this guy money. He wasn't trying to tell him the winner of the horse. It just happened to land on that, and the guy bet his money on it, and it won.
But he tells him later, you already got what you need. meaning like that, unless he's not talking about that, but that you winning $240 is something that you needed, and that's got to be enough for you. That's all you're ever going to get.
Because the things only work one time.
Is,
he says, you've got what you needed. They work one time, because he tries to drip the pen again the next day, and he's like, well, it's not working. This is busted. And goes back and asks him, hey, what's the big idea? So these things only work one time is what the peddler, at least the Perot, what is his name? Pedo? Yeah, whatever his name is. That's what he tells him.
Padgett.
There we go.
Padgett.
Strange name.
But there would have to be something like some inherent good in him winning $240. And it doesn't seem like it'd have to be some sort of like symbolic thing that he doesn't see the good in. But instead, it is what he wants. He just wants way more of it.
But that's not what he needs.
Exactly. That brings up the whole conversation of want versus need.
Exactly. So I don't buy that. I don't think that the pen guided him to the. I think it was just a random accident. Like the pen fell there, and he took that, and it started the rest of the episode. Like, 'cause that's not what he needed. What he needed was not to win that money and go hound the guy for other stuff, and then eventually die.
Because the pedo tells him, he says, the thing you need is something I can't give you. He says you need peace of mind, serenity, basically a sense of humor, and he can't give you those things, because that's what he says later on in the episode. So it's almost like, does the peddler manifest these things to give people what they want and go on their way, but then he runs into this guy who just wants more and more and more because his life is so shit. So the peddler's just like, I'm just going to give you these things to satisfy you, and hopefully you'll fuck off, because I can't give you the things you actually need. I'm only giving you the things that you want.
Okay, well, and that's a valid answer, but I don't think he would have even done that. I legitimately think the pen was an accident. Like, I don't think he would have even like given him that much, because he knew it would lead to more, you know? So I don't even think I don't think he did it on purpose. I think it was just a crazy coincidence.
Luck of the draw. I mean, he did rifle through all the stuff, and did he hand them the pen? I just watched this. I don't know if he actually handed him the pen or if he picked it up, but
that's a good question, because he does not hand him the shoes.
Right. He doesn't hand him the shoes, which are the things he needed the whole time. And that's why I think it's like, okay, well, if the shoes were the things he needed the whole time, was everything else that he gave him just luck? That just happened to be lucky, because he didn't give him the things that he needed right away. He gave him things that I guess technically didn't need, that still ended up benefiting him. So it's very strange. It's like, yeah,
exactly.
So it's like,
I feel like the peddler is a good man who just wants to do good for other people. Wants to give them things that will actually like save their lives, do really well for them. I don't think he would have purposely given this asshole money just so he'd come fucking bother him for more shit. I think it was a ironic coincidence that happened, and now he's stuck with this guy and he's got to do something with him.
I think he's like a drug dealer who there's people who can handle the drugs and there's people who can't. For the people who can just take the drug at the bar and have a good time and then move on with their lives, great. But this guy keeps coming back and bothering me, so I got to get rid of him somehow. Or this guy has spent so much time, he's basically a time traveler, and like Doc Brown, learned you can't mess with time. It's just, their consequences are too big, so your ambitions must be extremely small. The best you can do is buy somebody a bus ticket.
You're just wrong about that, because he tried to help the asshole at the end. He told him what you need is not this. You don't need these shoes that don't fit you, that are going to make you slip. He tried to help him, and the guy said, "Fuck you! I'm taking this stuff." Like,
no, but he had to learn that lesson the hard way.
He's had things to happen to people.
He's dealt with guys like this in the past. He's given them what they said they wanted, and it turned out really badly. And he's like, "Listen, buddy, I've been through this enough times, and I'm telling you what's going to make your soul feel better is to get right with yourself. Work on self-improvement, work on you, okay?" But the guy doesn't want to hear it.
No. He wants more material things, more things that benefit him in a way that aren't, exterior, not interior. You know what I mean?
And so the peddler ends up either manipulating the guy into picking the shoes, or the guy by total luck picks out the shoes. Well, no, the peddler then says, I needed you to get those shoes, or you needed to get the shoes.
That was definitely something he intended. Like, that was the only way out. Look, I stand by the fact that the pin on the horse was total ironic fortune, and he didn't intend for that, but he was stuck with this guy, and the only way he was going to save himself is to screw over the guy. Yeah. So, yes, it's not what he needed, it's what I needed to get away from you.
Right.
So I think he did that on purpose, for sure. But I stand by the fact that he never intended for the guy to win any money.
Well, the shoes cause him to get stuck in the road and hit by a car and die. And then the peddler says, the moment I saw you, I looked into your eyes and I knew this was you could never be satisfied, basically. And so I murdered you.
He says when he looked into Fred's eyes, he saw his own death. He saw Fred murdering him. And the things that Padgett needed were for him to wear the shoes. But he didn't want to just kill this man because he's like Patrick mentioned, I think he's a good guy. So it's almost like he was trying to just give him other things that happened to work. But in the end, he's like, if I don't kill this guy, essentially, he's going to kill me. So
what he did was he made it his choice.
Right.
The guy chose those shoes.
He did, because he's like, what's my next thing? And he's looking around, and you can see Padgett kind of look down at the shoebox, and he picks up the shoes, and he's like, are these it? Are these what I need? They don't even fit. They've got leather soles on the bottom. And then that's what ends up making him slip. And then Padgett delivers that kind of chilling line of like, those weren't what you needed. They're what I needed. So I guess that's the only other instance outside of the potion that the woman gets that wasn't directly for that person, because the shoes weren't for Frank. They were for Padgett to save his own life.
When he interferes, when he imposes something on somebody, it's to help them. But he let that guy choose the stuff.
Right.
He wasn't trying. He didn't actively go out to kill him. He let him choose.
That's true. Because the only thing that he gives Frank is the scissors. After that, everything else Frank picks out of the box or his little trunk or case. That's interesting. Yeah.
It is so interesting, yes.
I was going to say he's like, he interferes, but things happen. Things don't actually change. That guy would have gone to Scranton anyway. The only difference is he'd have a stain. But I guess the scissors do cause something dramatically different to happen.
I think they're implying that he's trying to better people's lives. When he interferes, he's trying to better people's lives. I think that's what they're trying to say. But the guy was so domineering, and he chose his own death.
You know what I just realized? The peddler tells him, you already got what you needed. What he needed was the scissors. He needed to save his own life. So I think, Patrick, I am now on your side. The fountain pen was a total coincidence that he just happened to win $240.
Yeah, I think you won me over as well, because he gave him the scissors to save his own life, hoping maybe he would look internally at his life and try to reevaluate.
This is your second chance.
This is your second chance to not make your life or not continue living a shitty life and change it. So everything beyond that, it must have just been just kind of luck of the draw, coincidence, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. So I think you've won us both over on that. The pen was definitely random chance. There we go. That's what I was trying to say.
And then this episode ends with the guy being dead on the street and people gathering around like, oh, a dead body. Wow. And the peddler gives this guy observing a comb. And then what do you know? The newspaper cameras need to take a picture of him. And his wife's like, oh, fix your hair, Walter. And he uses the comb. Wow. And then they both smile very, very big at this scene of carnage for the newspaper.
Why they needed their picture?
That's how the episode ends.
Nobody knows. They were just innocent bystanders. But hey, what are you going to do?
Well, that's the follow-up episode.
I love the idea of, I guess people still would get so fucking excited if they got their picture taken for the paper. But yeah, you got to look so presentable and smile big for the camera at this scene where there's a dead body 4 feet away.
I presume that got him a really big job in the future. Like, oh, he looks so great. Somebody saw him and said, hey,
this guy.
He should be our
This
new
guy.
ad manager.
This is our guy.
I noticed though that he wasn't even done combing his hair. It was really funny. He was like in the middle of combing the last bit of hair, and then the camera went off, and I was like, "You guys were a little too soon on that photo. Like half a second too soon. Hopefully you got it, and he wasn't blurry."
So, I mean, that's that. I guess it does feel like a kind of a minor Twilight Zone episode without anything that really distinguishes it from lots of other similar stories. I don't feel like there's an incredible performance that makes it stand out. I don't think all episodes are very well directed, top-notch craft, but there's nothing where you think like, wow, I'm so impressed with what they did on a TV budget in 1959. So in totality, I will say I'm going to give this a C+.
Ooh, we're doing grade scores here. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
grades,
Yeah,
letter
and I think
grades.
you're being generous with the C+.
You know what? I'll just say a C then. C
Okay.
for what you need. What this episode needs is to go back for a second draft.
It needs to start over with the man and the woman. I'm telling you, that would have been a great episode. He needs his baseball career. She needs love, and it's like, which is more important? That would have been a great episode.
I think to make Patrick happy here, I'm gonna have to take time, write out a script, and do a little short mini, just movie, and give Patrick what he wants. Although I can't.
That's what he needs.
I can't, exactly. It's what he needs. I can't promise you will like the outcome, but I'll do my best. Maybe I'll write you a short story or something like that. I feel obligated, much like the peddler, to give you what you desire.
Yeah. And again, it's this recurring thing in the Twilight Zone. If you want something that makes you bad,
Right.
or if you need something, you know what people need? People need money. They need money to pay their bills and pay for their health care and stuff. But it's like, if no, that makes you bad. What you need is a sense of humor about yourself.
no,
So
but
shut
this
up,
would have been
Twilight
like
Zone.
the ultimate,
Don't tell me what I need.
the ultimate, question. Money or love. Like that's the ultimate conflict in life. What's more
It is?
important, and his baseball career or falling in love with this woman? Like that would have been so much more intriguing. God damn.
It would have been funny if he chose baseball over love.
I feel like he might have.
But it would have fit the show, I think.
Yeah, it would be dark. What's your letter grade, Patrick?
I really wish, since we have like a guest host, I wish we did a great episode. I wish he was here for 16 millimeter Shrine.
You think this made us look bad?
No, I don't think it made us look bad. I just
We're embarrassed in front of
I
Austin.
think you're gonna be unhappy
No.
with my grade, but I mean, let's hear yours first.
I think this. God damn. Because you know what? Because they had such a good setup that they did nothing with, and then just went down a fucking shit road. Honestly, I think this may be my least favorite episode so far, and I'm gonna say, look, Twilight Zone can't do anything so bad that I'm gonna give it an F because it's Twilight Zone, but I'll say D+.
Wow, my God.
See, and I wasn't so much engaged with what was happening on screen, but more of just the themes and the subtext I picked up on, because it does really have a great commentary on like the destructive nature of greed and how greedy humans can be, and need versus want, fate versus free will. So for me, I feel the subtext and theming was very strong in this episode, despite the story not being the best I've seen. So I would say I'm going to take Matt's C+ and use a C+, because when you look a little bit deeper, I think into the story, that's where it shines. But I'm obsessed about seeing what happened with the baseball player and the lady who apparently just needs to clean shit. I do want to know what happens.
Look, I was
People need to
so
know.
excited when I heard the premise of the show. When I read the plot, I was like, a guy who knows what people need. Like, oh, they're going to go somewhere really deep. This is going to be so good and thought provoking. This is going to be great. And they just shit the bed. I think.
Well, maybe that's why Stephen King wrote Needful Things, and it even has the word need, because he's like, oh, that's an incredible premise. Oh, they didn't do anything interesting with it at all. And so he wrote one of his best books, a 900-page book about an evil guy from old Europe who moves into a town and will sell everybody everything they actually need. But
such a good movie.
He's actually doing it for really evil. The movie's so fun. Ed Harris, oh, you fucking evil guy, get out of my town.
I love a small town horror movie and everything just devolving to chaos. I fucking love Needful Things. It's a great time. So if you ever want to have me back for a banger episode, I'm always available to take time and do one of those. So
I would say please come back for a banger. Okay. Please.
Yeah, and the Frightmares podcast, a great podcast covering horror movies. I've been on it a handful of times. We recently did an episode about Jordan Peele's Nope, and we talked on that episode about how Jordan Peele is obviously a big fan of the Twilight Zone, and all three of his movies are kind of, you could see them being Twilight Zone episodes. Yeah. So I would point people, subscribe to Frightmares, listen to Frightmares. If you want a place to start, listen to our Nope episode.
It was a great episode. Yeah. No, you're good. I was just gonna say it was a great episode. I really enjoyed the conversation on that one. With a movie, from Peele, there's just a lot of layers that go into it, and that was definitely the best episode of Malian Invasion, as it were, in May. So definitely go check that one out.
I was gonna see if you agree with me on this, which I don't think you do now. But what I was gonna say is that Jordan Peele is great at thinking, similar to this episode Twilight Zone, he's great at plots.
Yeah.
He thinks of the greatest plots, and then the movies go nowhere.
Oh, wow.
I totally disagree with that.
They just shit the bed every time. I'm so intrigued when I hear the plot. Oh, God, I got to see that. And then the second half is terrible every time.
Have you seen his inspiration for us, Chud, Cannibalistic Humanoid Underground Dwellers? You should go check out Chud. It's a great cheesy 80s movie. Maybe because that was his big inspiration for us. Maybe you'll like Chud a lot more. If you like cheesy 80s horror movies, then that might be right up your alley. So
well, that's my next question is, since you do a horror podcast, I don't know if Matt told you, I'm a Freddy fanatic.
Okay.
I am obsessed with Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street 4 is my favorite one.
Dream Child?
The Dream Child. No.
Because it's Dream Warriors, Dream Master?
Dream Master.
There we go. And then Dream Child. Fucking three.
I think objectively, the third one's best. I think Dream Warriors is the best. The object. Yeah. It's great, but I love watching Dream Master with the Rennie Harlan style. And the cockroach scene when the girl turns into a fucking cockroach in a roach motel.
I'll tell you what.
That's the
next year for the show. I think we're gonna do all sequels next year because fucking why not? And there'll be a Nightmare on Elm Street month, I'm sure. So maybe we'll get together and we can do Dream. Fuck, I already forgot. Dream Master. There we go.
I have so much to say about every fucking Freddy movie.
I'm noting this down now.
I'm a fanatic.
Noting this down now.
Yeah, I know because I've seen the movies a handful of times each. I've seen each of them a handful of times, but Patrick will text me about just this minutia from these movies, and I'm like, I don't know them the way you know them.
I'm obsessed.
My controversial rankings is 1, 2, 3, 4. How about that? Same as my Indiana Jones rankings, which are also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
It's not the worst. Like, no, 2 is an underrated movie for sure. It's very underrated. I don't hate for that, but 3 is objectively the best, and you're stupid for saying anything otherwise.
Wow.
It's better than the one directed by Wes Craven, one of the greatest horror directors of all time. For Chuck Russell, although Chuck Russell did make some good movies, made the Blob remake, so he's a great director too. The first Nightmare on Elm Street's one of the greatest horror movies ever made.
I'll give you that.
What are you? So this will be coming out in June. What are you covering in June on Frightmares?
Ooh, God, man, June is a lot of fun. Every month is a pun because I'm a fucking nerd. So June is Kai June Destroy. The Godzilla episode 1954 is already out. We are covering Godzilla versus Space Godzilla because I didn't even know there was a Space Godzilla. And then we're doing Monster Seafood Wars, which is a 2020 kaiju movie with people in rubber suits, no CG to my knowledge. Then we are doing a domestic. So usually we do all domestic movies, one international, but for this one, it made more sense to do all international, one domestic. The one domestic we're doing for the month is Godzilla King of the Monsters, because every fucking monster under the sun is under there in that movie. And then we are capping the month off.
But that would be the 2019 one or the one from
Correct.
the 50s?
Yes, not the Americanized version of the original, the MonsterVerse one from 2019. And then we're capping the month off with a wild card, Gamera versus Varas, this tentacle squid looking thing. I've never seen it, never heard of it, but it sounds awesome. And Gamera is probably my favorite kaiju. I just love spinning turtle. I don't know. Yeah,
so you do a different theme every month. So if you don't like the kaiju, just wait. It'll be a different month soon.
Werewolves are coming in July. We've got Lycanthrope's Howl coming for summer. So don't you worry. Plenty of good shit.
Now, one more thing. Speaking of Malian, are you excited about the Steven Spielberg Disclosure movie?
I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of whatever on it. I want to go see it, and I want to go see it in the proper format. But I haven't really seen much about it other than the cast. But I know he's doing that intentionally. But I definitely want to go check it out. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily like hyped for it, but it is Steven Spielberg. It's a new movie, and he's keeping it very secretive. So I am definitely intrigued and will do my best to see it when it comes out. But yeah.
If any filmmaker though has gotten access to like the underground layers and the dark secrets that the government's hiding, it's going to be him. So maybe we do need to go see this and open our third eye and see what he's trying to tell us.
I mean, you're not wrong.
So I'm excited. I'm excited about this movie. But yeah, everybody subscribe to Frightmares. Subscribe to my other podcast, 1 Week Rental. We're currently doing the Summer of Nolan, Christopher Nolan movies. In June, we're doing Memento, Batman Begins, and The Prestige. And then Patrick and I have a band called Rural Route 9. We have an album called The Joy of Averages. It's available wherever you get your music. And the theme song to The Signpost Up Ahead is track 5 on that album. So that's it from us. Anything, Patrick, you want to point people to?
I have a date this Sunday with a girl that I think is going to be my girlfriend, and I'm like really excited.
Plug for Patrick's date. Everybody support Patrick's date.
Yes.
Send him good vibes, good wishes. I think it'll go well. Don't blow it, dude.
Oh, why would you say that?
No, you won't blow it.
Why would you do that to me?
Man.
No, it's gonna be great. Yeah, Austin, thank you for coming on. Love talking to you.
Thanks for having me, man.
We'll do it again in the future. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.